Saxon Algebra 1/2, Lesson 31. Our topic today is order of operations. Super important, super cool. We're going to connect ourselves with the history of mathematicians back through the ages and remind ourselves of some simple rules that we all follow. Let me show you a problem. Copy it down, please. Oops, that's a 6. 41 minus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 6. Here is the question. How do we do this problem? There's subtraction, there's addition, and there's several multiplications. Should we just start over here and go all the way through? Should we add and subtract first? Should we multiply first? How do we do this? What order do we do these operations? Mathematicians sat down, talked about it, because here's the thing. If you do it in a different order, you'll get a different number. Okay, so it does make a difference. So mathematicians, long time ago, sat down and said, let's agree on the order that we'll do things so we can write it the way so that we can communicate it all. And what they agreed, and this is just part of it, but for now it's all we're going to talk about. They agreed that first we're going to do multiplication and division, then we're going to do addition and subtraction. This list is going to get longer as we go on, but for right now we only have 2 to worry about. First we do our multiplying and dividing, then we do our adding and subtracting. So when we're handling a problem like this, we go over here, we start here. It's just like reading, you work from left to right, and we look for any multiplying or dividing. Okay, that's subtraction. Here's some multiplying. And here's some multiplying. Multiplying is tricky because sometimes we use a dot and sometimes we use parentheses. We're kind of past using an X. That's kind of a middle school math kind of a thing. But we'll get to that later, but multiplication can be tricky. But for now, it's easy. It's just a nice dot. So what we do is we leave the rest of the problem untouched and we just do the multiplications. So I'm going to do that. 41 minus, this now is 15 plus 24. And now we go through it a second time doing the adding and subtracting, and that's a little easier to do. 4 minus 15, I'm going to just make a little note here. That's minus 11 and plus, oh, no, I copied wrong. See, it's 41 minus 15, which is 26, and then we add 24, and our final answer is 50. See, I forgot to copy the 1 down, which is a really good reminder, you guys, that it's easy to make mistakes in these problems just by the copying. So be careful. Example 31.2. And the other tedious thing about these that I have to caution you on is there's a lot to write down, but I want you to go ahead and write down the full long problem for now. For the first 3 or 4 lessons that you do like this. Later we'll talk about, oh, just a second, this is plus 6 times 3. We'll talk about shortcuts later, but for now, copy down the problem just the way it's written, and I'm sorry for the wear and tear on your wrist. I'm double checking, minus 2 times 4 plus 6 times 3. Okay, so we do the same thing again. First we look for the multiplication and division. Sometimes I squiggle it, sometimes I underline it, sometimes I double underline it. But what we want to do is somehow identify what we're going to be doing on the first pass through. For anyone who likes to use multiple colors, this is a great time to do it. Just put a different color under all the multiplications, and then later we'll put a different color under the additions. That's fun too. But I'm going to rewrite it. 4 plus 15 minus 8 plus 18. Makes sense? So now I'm going to work from left to right, on my second pass, doing the adding and subtracting. 4 plus 15 is 19, minus 8 is 11, plus 18 equals 29. See how I am just working my way across and just making little notes to myself so I don't forget what my previous total was? That's a great way to minimize the amount of work you're putting into this while still giving yourself a little bit of help and rather than trying to carry it all in your brain. That's all, you guys. That's done. Here are the rules for order of operations. We're going to add more, and this is kind of weird. We're going to add more to the top of the list, the things that we'll do first. But what I want you to remember now is that multiplication and division comes first, addition and subtraction comes last. All right, that's lesson 31. Thank you. Goodbye.